Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and today I'm coming to you with one of my home gunsmithing videos. And it's going to relate to a problem that I do not see being resolved or explained anywhere else online, so I thought I would make a video about it and hopefully help someone else that may have this issue in the future. This is one of my Beretta M9s, and it's my one of my special editions. The issue I'm having with this is the firing pin block, and I'll kind of explain what it's doing. The firing pin block here is on the top of the gun. It's this elongated part right here, and it is the part that moves out of the way for the firing pin to be pushed into the chamber. It works just like a Glock firing pin block, which is all internal. This one just has a little bit of like an external top to it. And so the way that this is supposed to work, with the magazine out, of course I will safety check the gun. When I pull the trigger back, you will notice that that little ledge at the top, or the top of the firing pin block, comes up like it's supposed to. And then when I pull the trigger and hold it back, it stays up. And when I release the trigger, it drops down just like it's supposed to, because there is a spring in there which pushes it down. Now, let me do the same thing with the magazine inserted. So let me pull the hammer back here. I will pull the trigger back to the brake right there, so it comes up like it's supposed to. I pull the trigger, it's up, and now I'm going to release the trigger. Oh no, it stayed up. As you can see, it is still above the frame right here, and I can push it down. It should not do that. It should fall and go back into the frame or the slide just like that. So what in the world could be causing this? Well, I did some investigating, looking at the pistol, trying to figure out mechanically what happens here. Well, let me field strip this and I'll show you the culprit. So, it's back. All right, so with the frame here, the three parts I'm going to be dealing with today are going to be this part right here, which is the firing pin block lever. Now, if you notice, it is extremely loose. Now, these are supposed to be very loose. This one is extremely loose. You have a hammer release lever, and then you have a hammer release pin, which is inserted from this side of the frame. And so what I think the problem is this is way too loose. I mean, they're supposed to be very loose, but as I mentioned, this is way too loose. And when the magazine is inserted into the frame and the firing pin block tries to go back down into the frame using the spring, it catches and it is caught on the lever in kind of a wrong place. I can even see where it's wearing kind of weird. It's very silvery in tone right there. And so either this part is out of spec, the distance in the frame where these two parts go together, which has a lot of play in it, is out of spec, or something within the pin is out of spec. So instead of just buying this one, the firing pin block lever, I actually bought all three of these parts. And all these things were like $3 a piece or $4 a piece. So it was really only like 12 bucks to get all three of these pieces. And I thought I might as well replace all three to eliminate any of the possibilities. So I'm hoping if I replace all three of these, it's going to eliminate this and the firing pin block is going to function like it should. If that does not fix it, that tells me that this distance inside of the frame is out of spec. But I have a sense that if I replace these three parts, this is going to work correctly. So let's replace it. Okay, so in order to replace these parts, the things I'm going to need a very, very small punch. Obviously, I need the pistol frame. I'm going to use an Armor's pistol block as well, and I'll need those three parts, and I have them right here like in a little magnetic bowl. Before you do any type of mechanical work, if it's something that you're unfamiliar with or have never done before, I always recommend taking pictures. Even though these are just three parts, it's easy to kind of see how they go together, and I have other reference guns to check. I have like, 3 or 4 92s that I could look at. If you don't have that at hand, take pictures. So when you put everything back together, you can make sure it looks like it's supposed to go that way. I can't tell you how many times taking pictures has saved my butt when working on cars or working on guns. Just take a little picture of that from multiple angles so you know how it goes together. All right, so what I'm going to do here is the pin only comes out in one direction. It comes from the right side of the gun to the left side of the gun because it is larger. In fact, if I show you the pin here, I'm hoping this is going to come across on the camera, you can see that one side has kind of a little ledge and a lip. So it's only going to come out of the gun one direction. And these are the only parts that are on this pin, so you don't have to worry about anything else. So I'm going to get my rawhide hammer, which is also another tool that you need. By the way, I should have brought that, put that on camera. So now I'm just going to push this pin out. It might take a little bit of work at first. Let's see here, let's get this pin out. Right there it goes. And on this side, pull it out, and the other parts simply just drop out. So there we go. So here we have the firing pin block lever. We have the hammer release lever right here, and we have the pin. So I'm just going to set those aside, and this should be a relatively quick install here. So I'm going to start by putting the pin back in, obviously from the left side to the right side, and this is that gap that I was talking about that might be out of spec, allowing those parts to move too much. But I don't see any wear or anything in there that's broken that concerns me, and everything seems to be machined correctly. So I'm going to assume that it is not this. So I will start this pin to go through, and I'm going to push it right where it starts to go into that little channel. I'm then going to take the hammer release lever here, and this might take a little bit of manipulation here. I'll see if I can keep it all on camera. Okay, so I got it through that. Okay, so that's in like it's supposed to. Might need to push that pin back through just a little bit. All right, and then we got the firing pin block lever. Has to go here and underneath, back in, and then just line everything up. Let's see here. Looks like it's lined up. And now let me gently hammer it through. Okay, and that is in. Now I can tell you that this is no longer moving as much as it used to be. It is moving freely with no problem. So that seems to be a lot better. I like the way that fits. Let me just make sure that this pin is all the way in, and then we will reassemble the pistol and see if that fixes the problem. So as I said, that seems to be a lot better. So let's reassemble and see if this fixed it. All right, so let's see if I was able to repair my Beretta with $12 in parts. So I'll the slide go back on here. Everything seems to be going together just fine. Okay, so I'll try it without the magazine first. Okay, the firing pin block goes up, holds up, drops back down. That was never a problem before. So now let's try it with the magazine in. Pull the hammer back. So that block comes up. Pull the trigger. And now if I release the trigger, it's fixed. Let's find out. Ah, it is fixed. I am really happy with that. There it is again. Hammer drops. Firing pin block drops as well. Well, there you go. So if you ever have a stuck firing pin block, one of the things I would definitely take a look at is check your firing pin block lever, your hammer release lever, and that hammer release pin. Super easy to replace. Definitely fixed it, and the parts are in there a lot better. I don't know. I never had a problem with this before. Maybe I just never noticed, or just the part finally weared enough for it to always be a problem. But these, I think, are just a smidge out of spec. It's probably the hammer, sorry, not the hammer release lever. It's probably the firing pin block lever. But I just thought I would go ahead and replace all three just to be safe. So there you go. Super easy fix, and I hope this helps somebody in the future. So let me know if you have any questions. And as always, thanks for watching.